In November 2016, the Mayo Clinic defined trichotillomania as a mental disorder that involves recurrent, irresistible urges to pull out hair from your scalp, eyelashes, eyebrows, or other areas of your body, despite trying to stop. Unfortunately, in 1981, trichotillomania, or trick for short, was not recognized in psychology or psychiatry. I was 9 years old in 1981 when my struggle with trick began. I started pulling out my eyelashes. I didn't know why I felt compelled to do this. I had never seen anyone pull out their lashes. It was tough to understand at that young age, and even tougher to explain to my classmates. While trick lived in my mind, it showed on my face. I didn't have to say or do anything for people to know that I was flawed. My mom addressed the pulling with my pediatrician, who said to me it was a phase and that maybe I should try biting my nails. At least that way I could hide my hands. The child psychologist told my parents that I was a happy, well-adjusted child. Yes, I was teased. At home, my brother would call me fish eyes and tell his friends to look at my face and say, "She has no lashes." Classmates were really more curious than unkind until I got to high school. Freshman year, girls on the bus would turn their eyelids inside out and say, "Who do I look like?" The cruelest person by far was my own inner voice. I told myself I could stop if I was stronger or smarter or more disciplined. At 17, I was accurately diagnosed with trick and got help from the University of Pennsylvania. The psychologist said that prescription pills could decrease the urge to pull. After 9 years of pulling, I was thrilled to hear that a pill might be the solution. My father felt strongly that I wait until my 18th birthday, which was March 28th, senior year in high school. That is when I started taking Prozac. To my delight, my lashes grew in. The only drawback was that I started pulling my head hair, which was not that big of a deal because I had a lot of head hair. So Dr. Foa at the University of Pennsylvania warned if I simply took drugs and didn't continue therapy, that the trichotillomania would progress. What Dr. Foa didn't understand was that I had spent the last 4 years in an all-girls Catholic school, taught by nuns, and came home to equally strict parents. As an 18-year-old, I was going to maximize my newfound freedom. I had rented a beach house, was leaving for Arizona State in August, and I was not about to change my plans. Yet Dr. Foa was dead right. That summer, I reverted to pulling my lashes and continued to pull out my head hair. I was able to cover up the small bald spots for the next 4 years. I remember my college sweetheart saying to me he wished I were bald so that no one would ever love me except for him. I ended this relationship when I graduated and moved to California, eager to reinvent myself in a new location. Within 1 year of graduating and working for a Fortune 100 company, I fell in love with Michael. This was my new chapter. However, this one would end with the purchase of my first wig at 23. Michael had not signed up for a wig-wearing girlfriend and ended the relationship after my 24th birthday. By 27, I was 70% bald and only had lower lashes. In my mind, I had tried everything: going to therapists, psychiatrists, stopped eating sugar, spent $2,000 on food allergy testing, and nothing had worked. By this point, I had been in love twice and rejected a dozen times. Then at 29, I met Sharon, who, when I revealed that I wore a wig, said, I'm honored that you told me. 6 months later, I moved from Manhattan Beach to Philadelphia to be with him. At 31, after I'd left my high-paying job, moved 2,000 miles away, and had introduced our families, I realized that Sean was not ever going to propose. I was crushed and humiliated, once again by the rejection, and I abruptly left and came back to California. Less than a week later, before my boxes had even arrived, Sharon called and insisted that he needed to see me. I'll never forget the visit, because the conversation we had in Santa Monica, walking in the park at night, I said, "Why didn't you want to marry me?" And he answered, "You never showed me your head without a wig, and I don't know anything about your problem. I looked it up online. There's no cure. What if we had kids and you get so stressed out that you have to be institutionalized and I'm stuck alone raising kids?" This long overdue confession helped me because it was the trick that was a deal breaker, and I understood that fear. This conversation propelled me to start battling trick again. Over the next 3 years, my time and money were dedicated to recovery. I spent $600 a month on a therapist who specialized in anxiety disorders, joined a Trichotillomania support group, took anti-anxiety medication, kept a log of when and where I pulled, learned to meditate, and prioritized fighting trick each day. By the time I reached 34, I had managed trick well enough to go without a wig for the first time in 10 years. My short hair was a dream come true, and I kept working hard to ensure that I would never relapse. In the last 10 years, I have pulled on occasion, but I'm able to get back on track quickly, and I no longer tell myself that I'm weak. Rather, I know how strong I am. Thank you.